thing where you lose the microplastics, which is the soul's currency in the game. That one got you good.
My God.
Really?
It's so good.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me as always are my good friends Kyle
Hello.
and Hunter. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
You can carry on
How
your
you
conversation
doing,
now.
man?
I rudely cut you off, dude. I rudely cut you off just as we started the podcast, so, you know.
No, I
think
think
it's-
the conversation was over. I mean, like, the swords are fake, Hunter. They're not real.
It's still a piece of metal. It would hurt to fall on you.
I mean, it's like fine.
Especially if it landed point down.
Look, but what are the odds of it?
Let me smack you
Now,
with it. Let's see.
I don't want to get on. Hunter, if we met, the first thing we would do is not let you smack me with a sword.
I think that's a fair
That-
assumption to make.
That would come later.
I'll use the
But
blunt
first
side.
thing
Don't
would-
worry.
First thing would not be, I'm gonna smack my best friend with a sword right now.
Why not, though? Why not? I mean, I feel like that's
No,
what
no.
most people do.
No,
I mean,
you're
if we
gonna.
met, I'd give you a sporting chance. You'd get your sword, I'd get mine. It'd be whoever smacks who first.
I feel no. If we met, you would bring your rebellion replica with you, and we would take cool pictures together.
I thought you were about to imply that we sword fight each other. I'm like, that would not be fair. That
mean,
is
I
not an easy swing at all.
Uh,
And if I make contact, my hands will vibrate out of my arms.
Well, you know, as lovely as this conversation is, guys, this is the worst week you could possibly choose to have it because we actually have games to talk about this week, okay? Games came out. Save the
Hell
filler
yeah.
for next week when we start this journey again of waiting months for video games. Yeah, we have 3 of these bad boys this week to talk about. We're going to talk about the very highly regarded, definitely not controversial for fucking stupid reasons, Stellar Blade to talk about. We have Tales of Kenzera Zao to talk about, and we have another Crab's Treasure Game of the Year 2024, everybody. We've got plenty of games
That's right.
to talk about this week. Timestamps will be down below if you want to hop between games, if you're just here for one of the 3. Like I say, I was saying to you guys, I'm so used to doing podcasts just about one game that for some reason 2024 is just coming in 3s, where once a month we have this weekend where 3 games come out, 3 to 4 games. Unlucky Eowyn Chronicle, we didn't have time, but 3 to 4 games,
I forgore.
all just dumped on the same weekend. Deal with it. See you next month. That's how this works.
And
we'll talk
then we
about
give you
menu.
guys 3 weeks of filler.
Yeah, like I say,
Filler.
it's all good. Join us next month for I don't even remember what the game is. It's
Senua's Saga.
Senua Saga. Yeah, join us next
Paper
month.
Mario, right?
And Paper Mario, the double bill.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk all about those 3 games today. And when I say we, I mean these 2, because I was naughty and I didn't do my homework. But we'll talk all about it on the HGO podcast. We're here every Monday around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services everywhere. Slightly later on youtube.com/Hot Gamers Only. Bit of housekeeping for you. There's a new article up on the website.
Yes, there is.
Kyle has written it. Do you want to give a quick 30-second rundown, Kyle? No pressure. I'm going to tune Hunter's audio while you do it. So go for it.
Yeah, this article it's not really a review, but just kind of like an analysis of 3 games from NIS Studio, all under they're all the Rhapsody games. I talked about them briefly last week towards the end of our episode, but I think I did a really good job writing it. I really enjoyed making it, and I think y'all should check it out. Coincidentally, if you live in America, at least, those games did go. The first game specifically went on sale on the Nintendo eShop. So, read the review or read the article, and if it sounds interesting, go check it out. It's on sale for like $20. It comes in a double pack. You get 2 games, so check it out.
What's the
Hell
other
yeah.
one?
The other
Yeah, go
game
check
is
it out.
I didn't play it. It's not important to me, but it's called La Pucelle Ragnarok. I didn't look at
The
it
sequel
at
to
all.
God of War. It's a good one. Yeah, you should check it out.
Prequel.
A prequel, damn. Okay, my bad. But yeah, go and check that out on the website.
Yeah.
Hotgamesonly.com. And then obviously all the old reviews that we've been doing this year. Like I say, slim pickings at the moment. Drip feed as we get these games coming out. But every new review, go to hotgamesonly.com, check them out, or go to YouTube where there's the video version. Obviously, go carry on. If you have finally finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we have the spoiler cast out now. Go check it out if you haven't already. Plenty of you have. I'm just going to keep saying that for the next few weeks
Go
at least,
check
because
it out
that game
again.
is so long that there's still people that have only just finished it. So,
It's
good for you.
chunky.
Check out that spoiler cast. It's very long. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about Stellar Blade. Probably the winner of the Dumbest Controversy Award for video games in 2024. If that is a category at the HGOs, we already know what the winner will be.
My God.
Yeah, from
Just a
controversy to
flare gun for
controversy.
morons.
Yeah, from censorship that didn't happen to other things that didn't happen to plenty of critiques that
To
didn't
incel
mean
Twitter.
anything. Yeah, to everything in between. It's been an interesting one, right? As someone who doesn't have a horse in this race, right? We've seen Project Eve literally how many years ago now? 4 years ago.
Yeah, we've been seeing it for a while.
Stellar Blade got a more kind of formal re-announcement last year. It's all back. I've never had a horse in this race. I thought, oh, this game looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll check it out. And then I was like, this.
And now it's out and he didn't.
And I didn't, because I was like, it's a hack and slash. We all know. We've been on this journey. This podcast has had enough cycles to know when a new hack and slash comes out. What's Ethan gonna think? Like, that's just what happened. Yeah. But Hunter's been playing it. Hunter, how much have you played of Stellar Blade?
Like 6 or 7 hours, I think.
A good chunk. And Kyle, you did your due service of playing some of the demo,
I
right?
played like half an hour of the demo. I gave up very quickly.
But you
much
at
to
least
Ethan's
tried,
chagrin.
whereas I had
I
the
did.
demo installed and didn't
You
play
could
it.
say that I tried, yes.
I
Yeah.
forgot there was a demo, and PlayStation was telling me that both of you got it. I'm like, no, they didn't. You're lying.
Yeah, no.
No,
I was surprised to
definitely
see
didn't.
Ethan's name next to that game. I'm like, ain't no way he's actually
It's like a
playing this.
list, isn't it? It's like, oh god, he's on here. What did he do?
You're
That's it. Like, oh wow, Stellar Blade enjoyer. I see. No,
You're finally awake.
Hunter. What is this game? I don't know why it's making me laugh so much. It's not funny, and it's a terrible way to start a podcast. Stellar Blade. What's the rundown?
Yeah,
Give
so
us
anyway,
the brief synopsis.
it's basically it's a hack and slash game about this lady named Eve. She's an android robot, therefore thereof some description. It comes down from space to fight off some monsters they call the Natibas that have been making life.
Is this Nier Automata? I feel like we've got the wrong game. Like, am I going crazy? I played
It's
that
definitely influenced by it.
I make the joke and
basically.
jest because I know that the developer of this and Yoko Taro have talked and they're fans of each other's work. So it's like I say it in jest, but I've been saying to myself, I'm like, this seems very similar to Nier Automata. And now you've just said that, I'm like, oh, okay, it very much is very similar to it. But no.
Yeah, very
Carry on.
similar. Like down to like the soundtrack, a bunch of it sounds like near music. Yeah, the town I got to earlier, I remember going, oh, that sounds like Voice of No Return, even. Which, maybe not the best thing that I'm picking out specific tracks that it sounds like, but what can you do? Anyway, so they're off fighting these monsters called the Natibas, which are making life hard for humanity, or what's left of it that exists down on the world below. And yeah, that's the basic overview of the story. As a hack and slash game, it's pretty. It functions pretty well. I've been enjoying it. Let's see.
You've got to like I say, it's a hack and slash, right? It's like we've. Here's the thing that's always been interesting about this game is I feel like I can't ever tell with this game, and I don't mean this as a slight to the developers. I don't mean it as a slight to the game itself. It's more of being in the gaming ecosphere and I'm sure you guys get this as well, is you get certain impressions from certain games just from the way communities react to them pre-release. And it's something about Stellar Blade has been a lot of people hyping it up to be like, this is it, this is the
Oh, I've been
thing.
trying to not hold that against it because
And no, I'm not
those
saying that you
people are
should hold it
sweaty.
against it. If anything, you should be doing the exact opposite, right? But it's like, I'm like, as someone who doesn't necessarily jive with hack and slashes that much, to have everyone be like, this is the next thing since sliced bread, it's gonna be epic, dude. Look at it, this is fantastic. And then I just look at it and I'm like, oh, it very much seems a by the numbers, like competent hack and slash game. Like it looks like it's serving that audience, but it's not really necessarily doing anything too, don't want, I hate to say unique because it's like, oh,
Mhm.
you know, every game has its own trials and tribulations, but it's like it seems very much by the numbers hack and slash, and you're either in or you're out. Seems to be the way that it looks.
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
nothing mechanically that would be changing your mind about it, but everything it is doing, it's doing well
mm,
as far as
See,
that goes.
I don't know. So I only played the demo. Prefacing with that right now. But Hunter, I don't know if this if so I don't know if my complaints are just like with the demo or not. But to me, like the combat just really didn't feel good. Like everything about it just felt super delayed whenever I tried to do anything.
that's a
Like,
known bug that got fixed in the day one patch. I'll throw that one out. I've done my research on
okay.
that. There was,
I was about
yeah,
to say, I was
apparently
gonna
there
be
was
like, huh,
huge input
well,
latency. There was really
Yeah.
bad input latency in the
It
game.
was basically unplayable, dude. 'Cause I
Yeah,
was gonna say, like, I played like, earlier this year, I played what's it called? Hi-Fi Rush, and I've been playing Stranger of Paradise, and both of those games are fine. Why is it when I push L1 to block in Stellar Blade's demo, it takes Eve a whole second to react
no, that's something
and
that I
do
noticed from a
anything?
lot of the review coverage was there was quite a lot of people that were going, there's a load of input delay and stuff like that. And then there was a thing going, in the new game plus patch, we're fixing input latency. That was a bug. Like they've managed to fix that. So I assume Hunter, you're playing that. I don't know why I'm talking on behalf of the. You've played it.
yeah, I haven't
You
been
feeling
dealing
it?
with any of that. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
if anything, I think it's like the one thing that's a little weird, and I think this is just a timing they went with for the specific mechanic for like the perfect dodge and the counter after you do it kind of thing. I feel like that's been kind of weird, but I think that's just isolated weirdness to that one mechanic, not necessarily the game lagging at
Game does
all.
have a cool little
Mhm.
accessibility feature in the menus. You know, similar to in Final Fantasy 16, there was like the auto dodge like equip that you could just do it
Mm.
and it would do that or it perfectly dodge for you. The game has like an accessibility feature. I don't know if it's an equipable or if it's just in the settings where it'll slow down. It'll slow down time and it'll pause the frame before the perfect parry. So if you're getting it like the like perfect dodge, so if you're getting really struggling with the timing, you can turn that on and it won't auto dodge for you, but it like slows down right when the window is, so you can kind of get oh that's when I'm supposed to dodge, which I thought was a
Mm.
nice little thing. Um, Especially because I've
Yeah.
always been like I've had these conversations with you, Cal, as hack and slashes get on and as generations get fancier and the teraflops get bigger and the stupid the particle effects go berserk, right? Is for stupid monkey gamer brains like me, it makes it really hard sometimes to learn how to recognize patterns because everything's so
Mhm.
flipping flashy. So to have something
Yeah.
like that, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. That's a nice little feature. And it's not just like Final Fantasy where it does it for you. There's a middle ground here. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Um. Anyway,
But
carry on.
yeah,
Sorry.
like I was saying, everything it does, like as far as it's not bringing anything new to the table so far, but everything it's doing pretty well. Like, the parry feels good, and the dodge, like the perfect versions of both those feel good. The counter attack for the dodge feels nice. The combos, I was almost let down for a minute, but I realized they were just doing a different way of the combo thing. Because every time I get one of these, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna change the speed at which I push the buttons, and it was the same move. But they just mix it up. You hit square and triangle at different orders, and you get a relatively decent amount of combo variety that way. So
Mhm.
that's nice. You get special moves that L1 plus one of the face buttons that you can upgrade and stuff too. It's tied to like an energy meter or whatever. So those are nice too.
In terms of the
Um,
world design, is it a again clueless to this game for the most part? Is it linear or is it more open ended? Like, how is the story specifics? Like, is it an open world? Is it just more like a, should I say, like Near Automata, where it's like hub-ish with branches that you go off into? Like, how was the layout? How's the structure of the game?
so for the first several hours here, it's been mostly linear. I think I just got to this city where I think it's opening up a little, where it's like, oh, talk to some people and they'll give you some side missions and
Hmm.
whatnot, and so forth. But uh, for the first several hours anyway, it was basically a straight shot through the places. The
Mhm.
area is kind of broaden up, but you still got the things you got to do, and it's cycling you through those.
Yeah. Just from
So it's
playing the demo, it definitely felt like, at least for the first level that they had you play, it definitely felt more like Devil May Cry, where it's like search these somewhat open areas, but mostly like linear hallways for like the key to open the next door and get to the next area with enemy encounters strewn about periodically.
yeah, that's pretty much how it's been.
Nah, fair enough. And then obviously, I assume there are, because there's all these costumes. That's all I've seen of this game is obviously the 60 million costumes that are in this game. I feel like there's more costumes in this game than any other game that I've ever seen combined. Really, um, I assume they're all tied to again like things you find in the game. Like how does that
So
work?
they cost resources, but so far none of them have like provided. I've only got one other costume besides the one that I got for the pre-order or whatever, but they cost resources, but none of them seem to change the stats. So that's kind of annoying. I'm like,
Oh no, I
why can't
love
I just
that. That's even
why
better.
can't I
Yeah, it's
just
Like,
just
buy
cosmetic.
just let me buy the thing if it doesn't do anything, you know? But
yeah,
or let
but
me
like
unlock
the
it.
amount of
That's
times we've been here before, right? Is you play a game, they have the armor systems, they have these costumes, they give you different stats, and you can have two options. You can either go for suboptimal, but you look cool as fuck, or you can go for the I'm a goblin for the stats, and you're wearing the dorky hat and the stupid, fucking stupid jeans. And you're
Okay.
I'm
like,
not
howdy
I'm
ho,
not
off I go.
I'm not anti no stats. I'm anti resources being attached to making it
But I mean,
instead of
what else are
outright
the
buying it.
resources used for? Just skill trees? Like what?
You can yeah, just various upgrades where it's like you get a thing that's called a weapon core. It makes you upgrade your weapon. You get other ones for like you get enough of the like socket upgrades and you get to equip more things that do like passive stuff, kind of nonsense. And then you can buy like you know usable items like healing and whatnot at
Hmm.
the camps shops.
Hmm.
But no, fair enough.
But yeah,
In terms of difficulty, where are we lying on this? Because I've heard mixed things. I've heard people say this is very hard, blah 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 blah. It's almost like 2017 with people making comparisons to Dark Souls again. It feels like it's that time of
I
the
feel like
fucking
the only
generation.
reason they're doing that is because the enemies respawn when you rest at checkpoints.
Ah,
Because aside
Ah.
from that, that's about all I can say is would be similar. But you know, uh, that would not be the first comparison I jump to. It's not that hard. I've had a couple instances with the first two bosses, I'd say, that where it was like it was going fine for the first half of their health bar, and then they just hit a status buff where it's like, oh, you die now. I'm like, ah, okay, well, I'll have to get over that. But moving on. But it's not like anything horrible. They do have the actually another comparison to FromSoft games. They've got certain enemies have the Bloodborne enemy placement where they'll be hiding behind the
Oh my
corner to the
god.
next room and just stab you while
Jump
you're
scare
like
you? Hell yeah.
there was one specifically. It was like going through the remainder of a doorway of a ruined building, and some dude just pops out and stabs me before I could even look around. I'm like, oh, we're doing this, huh? But uh, that wasn't that bad.
no.
But yeah, like it's not horrible or anything. I don't think it's hard.
Are there difficulty settings in this game? I don't remember if the demo had that or not.
I think there's normal and story mode.
Ah,
I don't remember
My
checking.
favorites.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's a hack and slash game. It's
Yeah,
whatever the difficulty is, I'll be able to manage.
right.
No,
But
that's fair.
uh yeah, I think it was normal and story, and that was about it.
Maybe
And then
hard
like
tied to New Game Plus. I don't know.
that's
That seems what
likely.
games do these days. Now seems to be like,
That's what hack and slash games have done forever. Like
Yeah.
Devil May Cry onwards.
yeah.
The difference is Devil May Cry is like 8 hours,
Yeah.
so it was easily replayable.
What you on
Yeah.
about? I
I don't
think
know how long
Rebirth is
Stellar Blade
extremely
runs.
replayable to do that second hard mode run. Kyle, I don't know what you're on about.
Uh, Shame I'll never find out.
Only one. Why not?
But yeah, like
Do you want the real reason?
No,
because
I'm
I
good.
think you know why.
I know that. I also, yeah, I'm very clear. Is there anything else you want to mention about Stellar Blade? Oh, voice acting. I've heard it's British, in it. I've heard that it's got a bit of the Xenoblade kind of voice
that's not
acting
what I
going
was
on.
expecting Eve to sound like.
Yeah.
It's true,
Yeah.
but
I've heard it's got the European localization, which I'm here for, to be honest.
oh
Cottage
yeah.
disease.
Up my list again a
Yeah,
bit.
I just meant the other one too, because there was like I think in the trailer they gave the release date. Otherwise, I don't know why I would have been watching it. Was they talked about Lily, which is the other uh, android lady that's hanging out with you, but they're like the younger one, also European of some description. I'm like, I'm like, oh, you sound like if Hugo from Plague Tale was a girl.
Oh,
So
good.
nice, but and then I think Adam was he didn't sound like he had any kind of noticeable accent. So eh,
Really?
yeah,
Um,
but the voice acting's fine. I don't. It's the characters themselves. So far, I'm not like overwhelmingly concerned with them. I don't really. Eve doesn't have the whole charismatic action game thing going for her. She's not on the level of 2B or Bayonetta or Dante in that way. But yeah. I only just met the one. I only just met Lily, so maybe that'll win me over. Adam's fine as a sidekick. Eve did have one good line earlier when I got one of the side quests. There was like an information broker or something. She's like, "Nice to meet you," blah blah blah. And with that only being the only sentence that the lady spoke to Eve, Eve was like, "You don't seem very likable." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's funny." That's a messed up thing to say when they were just greeting you politely, but at least at least that's something to go with.
no, fair
But
enough.
yeah.
Any other thoughts? Any other opinions on this game?
The hair physics are
Don't play
surprisingly
the
good.
demo, apparently.
Maybe they'll patch it.
I only kept an eye out for this because I was playing in like the 2 days in between finishing Mario RPG and Kenzera coming out. I was playing Code Vein for a little bit, and that's one of the ones where you can customize your hairstyle, and I gave my person the longest hair I could manage.
Hmm.
And the hair physics were jank and it was clipping through you, and if you were going down at a high pace, it'd wig out. So I have like the eyes of relative comparison right now, and the hair on Eve's ridiculous ponytail, it seems to adhere to what would be reasonably describable as actual physics. Like I haven't noticed any wacky clipping, or it seems to like, if it passes over her arm or something, it actually like interacts with it instead of just here and
Mm.
then there
Hmm.
or what have you. But
No,
yeah.
fair enough. Um, Final thoughts then, I guess. Would you recommend it? How are you feeling about it? Um,
Uh yeah, if you like hack and slash games so far, I'd give it a shot. It seems I've been liking it so far. I think that most people probably would too especially if they've played the other ones. Like, if you liked Near Automata and want more of that, give it a shot because it was influenced heavily by it.
is it one of those recommendations like myself last year for Raincoat, where it's like if you haven't played Near Automata, go play Near Automata first. Like, if you've still got the like, is it one of those where it's like, if you've still
I
got
would
the
say
breadth of
that,
things,
yes, but,
yeah,
like, if for some reason you weren't interested in playing Nier Automata, but this one caught your eye, then go ahead and play this one. Sure. But, if you're asking if I were to, like, give these recommendations in order for someone who just played, like, DMC5 for the first time and wants other things to play, then I'll be like, Nier Automata would come first.
fair enough.
Hmm.
Um, well, there you go. Stellar Blade is a game. I don't know. I don't know what to say on. Here's the thing. It's like I say, mired in controversy for no fucking reason. It got an 82. Critics were fine with it. It's just Twitter being Twitter and the weirdos being weirdos. And it's just like, man, why?
Yeah.
Just why?
I wished I knew, dude. I
Mm.
wished I had an answer.
So do I. So do I. Anyway, Hunter,
Oh,
you
the reverse
you
cover is really cool.
is it?
Look at this thing. Yeah, it's way better than the other one. Look at this.
It
Damn.
gives off
It's got the Starfield vibes.
Starfield Star Wars kind of vibes. I don't know. Um,
The other one's just her flying in the camera. That's not as interesting. At least you got.
Yeah, but it's busy. Here's the thing, right? Is I don't care for overly busy artwork. Like I don't like the Starfield artwork, if I'm honest with you.
No.
Um, that kind of 70s, you know what I mean, kind of like the 70s kind of movie posters where everything's like drawn. Like
Yeah.
it's a
The
really cool
graphic design is
style.
my passion kind
Yeah,
of
it's
poster.
real. No, they're really cool for like films of the time. But then when people try and replicate it now, I'm just like, yeah, it's fine, but it's like busy. Like unless you're a nutter like Hunter
Yeah.
who loves having the reversible art just for the sake of it instead of the
I
regular.
mean, it still has
Um,
to be better than the other artwork. Otherwise, I don't reverse it. But,
Like, it just reminds me of, like,
I
I
just
think
don't care what the spine looks like because I'm not stupid.
no, I care. I care a lot.
hmm,
Um, anyway, Hunter, you've talked enough, so we're gonna
Yeah.
swap the games around. We're gonna do Tales of Kenzera first. We were originally gonna do another crab, but if you want to get your crab on, then skip ahead because we're gonna talk about Zhao. So both of you have played this, correct?
yeah.
How much have you
Yep.
played, Kyle?
I played the first act, which is a
Hmm.
couple hours.
How much have you played, Hunter?
Same.
Oh,
Okay,
perfect.
perfect.
It's like we
Um,
planned this or something.
we can dream.
We
Uh,
didn't.
so yeah, Tales of Kenzera Zao, you might know it as that other Metroidvania that was announced at the Game Awards. It's from I can't remember his name. His name is escaping me, but he is the voice of Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins, who went off to make a game studio, and this is his first game. Uh, and if I remember, Surgency Studios, that's what it's called. That's the team that's made
Yeah.
it. Um, and it's a story that he wanted to tell after his father passed away, which I thought was really interesting, and the art style is really cool.
Hmm.
Kyle, do you want to give the quick synopsis for this one?
I can certainly try.
Go for it.
Um, yeah, so essentially, Tales of Kenzera, like Ethan said, it's a Metroidvania where you're playing as this guy named Zhao, and he's essentially on this quest to try and become a shaman. And with him, he has these two masks that give him his basically just give him his skill set for the game. It's the mask of the moon and the sun, basically, which is basically just like moon is shooting laser beams and sun is you have like these fire blades that he uses to fight.
Okay. And there you go. You just what you just going off doing shaman things? Is that the gist of
Yeah,
it?
essentially. At least for this first act, it was like there's this girl that you were following and she kind of like led you along to where progression was.
He made a deal with Mr. Death God of the game where it's like there were these three spirits that need corralled, and if he gets those three spirits, he can bring his father back. Is the implication?
Ah, there we go. So, like I say, it's Metroidvania. Uh, in any other year, it'd be like, oh, a Metroidvania, but it's like I say, you had Prince of Persia, you've got this, you've got a high chance of Hollow Knight coming out, keep that copium running. You've got a high chance of Metroid, Metroid Prime 4, which will be a 3D one probably. That'll be great. But it's like there's a lot of Metroidvanias nowadays, so it's like, how are you feeling on it? Especially you, Kyle, because obviously you haven't played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, whereas
I
Hunter,
did
you
not.
have. Um,
Yeah.
so Kyle, how are you feeling on it?
I like it. I'm enjoying it so far. It's been a while since I've played through a Metroidvania. I think Dread probably would have been the last one.
Damn, that's a
Even
long time. That's like
even
two and a
like
half years
discount.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't even think I've replayed like Symphony of the Night or Super Metroid in that time either. So it was honestly it was kind of refreshing to play one of these again. Kind of forgot how much I actually like them.
No?
But no, I like it. World's it's fun to move around. Like Zhao has this cool little dash move he can do that just feels good. It's just like a big lunge forward, but it just feels nice. It's
Yeah.
it's activating like speedrunner brain neurons.
Hell
Do
yeah.
do you ever Ethan, do you ever get that when you're playing a game for the first time
Well,
where you do something and then you're like, "Oh, speedrunner brain just kicked in." Does that ever
um,
happen to you?
kind of. I mean, it happens all the time for me in games where I'm playing something and it's like, you'll just notice things where it's like I've been playing the original Infamous on PS3 recently, and it's like when you're grinding on a rail, whenever you jump or whenever you leave the rail, it carries the momentum forward. So I'm just always
Hmm.
trying to get that angle right so that I keep the momentum going for the next thing. So I'm like, okay, that's the fastest way to move. Or you just notice something where you're like, oh, yeah, jumping in the running guy animation is actually quicker than just walking on the ground straight out. It's just stupid stuff like that, and you notice it.
Yeah.
So immersion is completely out of the window for me, and I'm just sitting there jumping as I know that it's quicker. So I'm like, yeah, get 'em. Do it with Bethesda games all the time, where I'm just running and jumping all the fucking time because I'm like, I know
Yeah.
that's quicker. I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I 100% get where you're coming from.
Oh.
Um,
But yeah, no, game's fun to play. It feels good to move Zhao. He's got that dash. He starts with a double jump and a wall jump. So
Yeah, and
right off
nice stuff that they're not gating off for power ups.
and they're not like hiding. Oh, and they're not like hiding
Someone forgot to turn their
the
autofocus off on their camera. That's good.
but they're not also not like hiding the fact that he can wall jump either. Like it's made pretty clear early on that yeah, that's just part of your skill set.
No, fair enough. Um, as Metroidvanias go, would you how because I've noticed there's like when it comes to Metroidvanias, there are the platforming esque ones where it's a lot of the challenges, the exploration, the getting to grips with it, and then there's also the more linear Metroidvanias where it's more combat challenges and all that kind of jazz. Where on this spectrum is it lying? Is it more platformer focused, exploration focused, or is it more of a combat kind of thing? Where's the line?
This one definitely leans more towards platforming and exploration. Like, really, the only combat you're doing is in the dedicated combat rooms that you'll end up in sometimes. Like, there's very few enemies that are just, like, scattered about outside
Hmm.
of the combat rooms.
No, fair enough. Hunter, you play
Yeah.
Prince of Persia, the
Mhm.
um, the darling of the Metroidvanias for this year, it seems. How is it stacking up? How are you feeling about Zao at the moment?
I've been liking it so far. Like Prince of Persia, since you brought it up for comparison, more polished. I think gives you more things that you can do from the jump. But I wouldn't be shocked if I play all of this and like it more, just because you know story very personal and all that. That would speak to
Mhm.
me a lot. But there are some little minor annoyances like attacking. You can slide off the edges without meaning to
Mm.
if you're in the middle of combat.
Oh,
Like you'll
good.
just
Yeah.
be in the middle of in the middle of a combo, and you'll just kind of like if you're not paying attention to where you are. Not a fan of that. But aside from that, you know there's a one power up where it's like if you push the button in when the sword shines to do your next attack, you'll do more damage. That's nice because it's like doesn't change how you're attacking, but it you know gives you incentive to pay attention instead of just mash the button. So that's cool.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. I like the other power ups too. There's one where you can freeze water and stuff.
Yeah.
That's neat.
No,
You get a power
fair.
up for the sun mask where you get to like throw a spear.
Yeah, cool. Um, I don't know. What else can we talk about this game? I'm not gonna lie. This is the one that I know the least about. Right. This is the one I did the least amount of research on. Is there what do we need to touch on, Hunter? You've probably got a better idea than I
Uh,
do.
I like I like the seeming mythology that they're bringing into it. I don't know if this is drawing off of like, obviously he took influence from like whatever African culture he has lineage from, and I don't know
Mhm.
which one that is, but you know, I don't know where part of this is like he made up his own like deities and stuff, or if there's like a mythological equivalent to these guys somewhere in, you know, some existence. But I think it's cool. It's a nice, you don't see a lot of games like this. I remember a few years ago when they were like that one game about Indian mythology. I remember being like, oh, you don't see a lot of games about that. I was like,
Mm.
that's cool. Similar thing here.
Yeah. It's cool to see a different pool get pulled from.
Yeah, and I assume the voice performances are pretty solid. Like I say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
He voices the main character and the death god
Abubakar
that's talking to
Salim,
you.
that's his name. But
Y-
yes,
y-
yeah, he voices the main
And
character. He's great.
the the other guy you're hearing from was is voiced by the guy who did Adewale from Assassin's Creed 4.
Damn, yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So
But no, he's fantastic. I'm not a huge fan of Origins. As an Assassin's Creed game, it's one of my least favorites. But Bayek is like the highlight of that game for me. It's like his performance is probably the best thing of that game. Um, so yeah,
yeah, it's really well performed so far. The
mm.
framing device is real cool too, because before it throws you into like Shaman Land or whatever, it's you're in like a modern day setting, and this dude, it's basically this kid is reading a story that his deceased father was in the middle of writing.
Ah,
So it's cool that way. Ties into the quest at hand and all of that. So it's a neat framing device. I appreciate it.
no, fair enough. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover about this game? Um,
Uh,
that we haven't done already?
I don't have anything else to add. I think it's a
Perfect.
solid game, if not a little bit basic at times, but nothing wrong with it.
the boss
No,
fight was cool that I got to
Yeah,
do.
that bird fight.
Yeah. Oh, like I was saying, I think before we recorded, as far as Metroidvanias go, if you're someone who's usually like Ethan here, opposed to them because they don't jive with you, I was saying it's kind of similar in Guacamelee in a way where it's not very Metroidvania.
Mm.
yeah,
Metroidvania wise, you could pretty much just. I'd be shocked if you could get lost in the first section that I played so far. You
you
know.
haven't met me in a Metroidvania, my friend. um, but no, like I say, I might give it a chance. Well, I say might give it. I might check it out at some point if I have the itch to do so. And obviously, it's part of the
It's
PlayStation game
yeah,
catalog. So, um, if you are subscribed to PlayStation Extra, it is available at no additional cost. So you can go and check that out. Would you guys recommend it?
Yeah.
yeah. I'd say it's worth a look.
Well, there you go then. Um, game number 2 in the bag. And Hunter, you're going to carry us home because you played the third game as well. I'm
I
useless here.
did.
Does anyone else
Crap
notice how useless
rave.
I'm here?
Crap
Yeah, like,
rave.
I should have just let you two do this podcast and I just like sit in the corner and think about what I've done because I'm about as useful as the. I've
A
got no
screen
mouth.
door on a submarine.
That'll do. Perfect. Anyway, another Crab's Treasure. Speaking of games and catalogs, this is available on Game Pass. So there you go. If you've got the
Dude,
Game
and
Pass
you
subscription.
didn't play it?
Nope. I
Way
forgot
to
it was on
go,
Game
champ.
Pass. I
Oh my
forgot.
god.
I'm sorry. Xbox what? Never heard of it. Um,
Haven't heard that name in years.
turn on my Series X. That sounds like effort. Okay, I don't
The
want to do
world would
that.
just explode at this point if you did that.
I'd be surprised if my Xbox still works at this point because it's like it's been a while. Okay, it's been a while. Um,
The electronic fairies came and took away its power button.
okay, that's Another Crab's Treasure is out on Xbox, PC. Is on Switch. I don't even
Yeah,
know if
it's
it's
on
yeah.
Switch. That's where I'm playing it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Look at
Is it
this
not?
man using
Is it
his
not on
Switch.
PlayStation? Is it just everywhere bar PlayStation?
I think it's on PlayStation as well, but
Oh, it is. It's on
uh,
PlayStation 5. Okay,
they
yeah.
they advertised a discount for Switch, and they didn't do that with PlayStation 5, and I didn't bother to check, so I bought it on the Switch.
So suck it, nerds. It's also one of those weird games where it's
Yeah,
available
it's
on
on everything.
yeah, where it's next gen only apparently.
Hmm.
That's perplexing, but all right.
Well, that's what Wikipedia tells me, and as we all know, Wikipedia is a reliable source of information, ladies and gentlemen. Um,
Yeah.
if not, because I'm seeing on OpenCritic that it's available on Xbox One, so it might be one of those weird ones where it's available on Xbox One but not on PS4. Don't quote me on that. In fact, I'll do some digging. Hunter, what's another Crab's Treasure?
All right, so this is what the developers, when they introduced the game a couple of years ago, described this as shells like. Essentially, they made a game that's like, inspired by Dark Souls, except you play as a crab traipsing through the polluted ocean, and it is quite the tickling premise. So I've been drawn to this ever since first hearing about it. The general premise is Krill, the main character, is hanging out with his very nice shell, just taking a nap. The shark pops up and accosts him, steals his shell, and is like, "Yo, you haven't been paying your taxes. The Duchess, the Duchess is repoing your house."
Of course.
And right away, this game's writing is incredible because Krill's response to that is, "Give me my house back. What are taxes and what's a duchy?"
Oh dear.
What the hell, dude? Ethan, we run the stupidest show.
Yeah, probably. I'm used to it, dude. 200 episodes. I'm checked out of the stupidity. I'm just
I
like, is it stupid
so
I
yeah,
anymore?
think this
I
is it. I
don't
think this is the
know.
breaking point.
I
really
also want
crab
to.
game is the breaking point.
Really, the point broke a long time ago. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, yeah, it's available only on PS5, but it is on Xbox One. It's one of those weird ones. I did get it right.
Mm.
Whatever. If you're the two people that still own the Xbox VCR, you can play this too. Well done. Get a new console, please. That one sucked. The old Xbox one sucked. Please. Anything. Anyway, so yeah, so you're a crab, you don't know what your taxes are, you have a fork, and you get a fucking can stuck on your back. It's like, what? It's time to go kill things? Is that your response? Is, I ain't paying taxes, I'm gonna kill everyone? Is that
Gonna
your
go
response?
Well,
overthrow the government.
all right. So I'll get into the mechanics before I get back to the writing because I can talk about the writing for a while, I think. But yeah, no, it's basic like Dark Souls stuff. Do your little light attack, hold it down for the heavy and whatnot. The twist here is that the shells that you get do different things. Where the soda can, they all have like some kind of defense and weight value to them. First of all, and then a little bit later, you get special moves that each of them do. Like the soda can will shoot out little bubbles that will home in and attack things, or there's a coconut where you can do this like rolling dash attack and ram into things like you're a Dawn fan or something, you know. There was a party hat where it was like a shotgun blast. He took it off and it was like boom. It was great. Uh, so there's been a bunch of so that's been a lot of fun as far as that's concerned because that was one of the things that the trailer that I saw the first time brought up. I'm like, oh, that kind of reminds me of Puppeteer, except it has a mechanical difference. So I guess the better analog is Nero's Arms and Devil May Cry 5. But whatever. The boss battles are all right as far as that's concerned. I've killed like 3 of them so far. Uh, None of them have been too horrible. I did the second one on my first try, so as far as like Souls like games, this isn't super ridiculous
More
either.
like Shoals like, am I right, guys?
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Ooh.
But
Please laugh.
uh right. There are I ended up checking the settings for this one because the lock on does this weird like letterboxing thing where you'll lock onto something and then there will be black bars on the top of bottom of your screen. I'm like, it's kind of cool, but also it started having a stroke when I started unlocking from things, so I just turned it off. And in that, the accessibility has other things where you can like take off. You can nullify damage from pitfalls. There's no fall damage usually, but like when you fall into the bottomless pits, you can turn damage off for that.
Mhm.
You can turn off the thing where you lose the microplastics, which is the soul's currency in the game. That one got you good.
My god.
That's fucking brilliant.
It's so good. Uh, then there's
Uh,
like there's the more basic difficulty stuff, like you could just turn it on to easier mode and stuff. But I turned off the pitfall damage because that's annoying. But there at the very bottom of that, I tried this once because it was just too funny to pass up. It's give Krill a gun. Well, it's just, he gets like a 9 millimeter posted on his back as a shell, and you just hit Y or square or whatever, and it's just bam. The special attack's a bullet that kills everything. It's so good.
this
Oh my
game is
god.
This
very
game is
silly.
amazing. I love it. But yeah, so as far as that's concerned, it's also very nice about when you're at a boss fight. If you die, it will not force you to just respawn at the usual checkpoints. It'll be like, oh, we have a little right before the boss arena checkpoint for you.
Well, that's nice.
So
Hmm.
that's nice as well. Um, Skills and stuff that you can get as you go on. There's a separate currency for that. Those have been they're all the things you would expect. I've been motivated to get them as I go. You got a guy you can teleport back to for that stuff here and there, but yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. So obviously you're having a blast with it. I assume that this is
Yeah,
the game that you
this
are
game,
liking the most so far out of the three that you've
so
played.
far it's the one that I'm probably gonna go back and play first. Like I might juggle this and Stellar Blade, but right now it's like this game is silly and I like it a lot. It's bringing me immense amounts of joy. Krill is a very relatable, just as far as he's basically, man, I just want my house back and I want to live alone. Everyone else is bothering me as he goes back. So after the shark takes your shell, one of the one of the first funny interactions that happens is you'll happen upon this snail and you'll be like, oh, the Duchess is horrible and, she tax you for protection or blah, blah, blah. And he just complains about them, and then Krill's like, "Yeah, they took my house. I need to ask them about doing something about my taxes." And he's like, "Oh, so you're just a freeloader, huh?" Arrgh. And then he attacks you, and Krill's like, "Weren't you just complaining?" And then you kill him. So, uh, so yeah, it's very funny that way. You go and talk to the Duchess, and she sends you to get something shiny because she's got monkey crab brain, I guess.
Oh hell yeah. Love a
Yeah,
shiny.
yeah. So
Hell
you
yeah.
go and get like a pearl or something and bring that back, and yeah, oh, the Duchess caught a case of the um uh, lost her will to live.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't you hate it when that happens?
She's just like everything's meaningless or worthless now, and then people are like, yeah, she went insane along with other people under her and all that. So the loan shark, after you defeat her, takes it off to the city and is gonna pawn it. And that's where I left off there. So I got like the first area done, essentially. With all of that, I'm off in the city trying to find out which shop he sold my shell to. It's been great. It does a good job at making use of the polluted sea premise too, like on top of the microplastics thing. All the items that you can sell for more currency are like random things like the little bread bread ties and
Oh,
chip clips and stuff like that. You're constantly seeing like glass bottles that have sunk to the bottom of the ocean as like obstacles that you can break, or like the Duchess's castle had one of those combs, not like not like one of the long slender ones, but one of the wider picked ones is like a gate
hmm,
or whatever. The like opposing sets of flip flops or work at like land bridges and stuff. They do a good job. The game does a really good job with its premise. It's very silly.
No,
Soundtrack is great too. Very ocean like. I've been appreciating that as well.
fair enough then. Well, I assume that this is just a recommendation from you then, Hunter.
Yes, to play this game. It's good. It's been doing a it's been doing great so far. Like it's in the top something in Steam. Like it's only been eclipsed by the Fallout games and their recent resurgence and something else. There was another game. I don't remember what it was. But they like posted a screenshot and it was like, "Oh, that's really good." But yeah. So, it seems to be doing well and that pleases me. So, you
Hell yeah.
know.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. So, that's that then. 3 games, all well and done, and in well under an hour, which means our reward is Kyle gets to talk about killing chaos because that's what Kyle's been up
Oh,
to. So we'll wrap it
oh,
up with a quick
oh boy.
check in in our brand new segment, Chaos Watch, dude. So, uh, Cal, you've been looking for chaos apparently. How's
Yeah,
that been going?
I can't find him, dude. He's elusive.
You gotta find him, Hunter. You gotta find him. You gotta kill him. What are you gonna do, Hunter? You gotta find him too. You better join in as well. What the fuck?
Dude, join
I
me, Hunter. This game's multiplayer, apparently.
I don't feel like it.
I don't give a shit. Come kill chaos with your buddy.
Uh you play a crap game and I'll think about it.
That is an acceptable term. I will accept these demands.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, so I've been playing Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. I've been live streaming it, my playthrough of it. I've been having a blast. All the VODs are being uploaded onto my YouTube channel. So this is something I've been trying I've been wanting to get better at it this year of just like when I'm playing a game that I feel like would be fun to live stream. I want to get my first impressions of it and get my first reactions to everything. Trying to live stream more. I did it a little bit with I Am Setsuna, and then they took it off the PlayStation Store, and I or took it off PS Plus, and I
That's
couldn't do
your
that
fault. You
anymore.
didn't finish it. You didn't try
I mean,
hard
it is
enough.
my fault. It is my fault for starting with a turn-based RPG for something like that. But also, why the fuck would they take it? Why would they take it off the PlayStation Plus? I digress.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have genuinely been enjoying this game. Like, W not even unironically, I genuinely think that the game is just really fun to play. Like, story, sure, that's goofy, it's silly, Jack is a silly protagonist, but also he's so stupid and fun to watch that I'd I'd wanna watch the cutscenes just to see what he does. Like, I in it was actually in yesterday's live stream, I got to one boss. Boss was monologuing, he was going on, and then he's just like, "Fear me, for I am," and then Jack it hard cuts to Jack, and he just goes, "I don't give a fuck who you are," and then reels back for a punch. And
Ah, the Asura's Wrath method.
I'm just like, put you in any other Final Fantasy game, and it becomes so much shorter. I wanna see you in Rebirth and see how you'd react to Cloud's bullshit in that.
Yeah, I was
I
watching, I
wish
can't
anyone would do
remember.
that to Sephiroth or just demand that Sephiroth speak like a regular person for once.
Mm, you stream rather late, so I haven't really had much of a chance. But I can't
Yeah.
remember if it was yesterday or if it was the stream before it. I just was listening to it while before I was getting to bed. I was just in bed. It was just a cutscene. It made me laugh because everybody was talking like a normal character, and then whenever Jack just showed up, you just heard Jack's voice. It was just like
Yep.
just dragged me out of it instantly because it just everyone would be having a monologue. You just like don't care, kill chaos. I'm like, okay, let's go. Okay, Jack. That's
Like,
nice.
there was one part in one of the pre-dungeon cutscenes where one of your teammates, Jed, he's just like, "Jack, I know you're not gonna wanna hear this," and then Jack just cuts him off and goes, "So don't say it." And then he just keeps moving,
Yeah,
just
that's
completely
something.
disregards him, shuts Jet down completely. But no,
Yeah.
silly cutscenes aside, like I said, I think I genuinely do enjoy playing this game. This does something that it does a really good job of blending the job class system from Final Fantasy into a real-time action game. So
Mm,
basically, you can have two sets of weapons equipped at a time, and each weapon is like tied to a job. So, like, if you've got a rod equipped, you can use that on one of your mage jobs. Um, Sword and shield, that's your knight class. Obviously, it's there's a ton of customization and a lot of overlaps between what classes can use what weapons,
uh-huh.
and it's the kind of thing where it all just really works together. Like, so, like, Black Mage, for example, you'd think that a class where you have to stop and stand still to cast your spell would be like a death sentence in an action game, but it's worked in well enough to where it just it functions, it works, and Black Mage is just a mainstay job for me. I mean, it helps that Arrow is basically your only crowd control in the game, but it you can't argue with it, dude. It all works really well together, and I feel like this game really didn't get a fair shot. It's the kind of game I
Of
wished
course it
I
fucking
played.
didn't.
I know it didn't, because it
Of
looked like
course
a
it
shit
fucking didn't.
post.
Yeah, it did. The first fucking cutscene with the three of them are just like, I'm here to kill chaos. I am too. I am too. And they're just like fist bump. That's
Literally,
the fucking thing.
dude. They're all like, "We've all got these shiny rocks. Let's go kill chaos."
Yeah,
And that's how they meet.
so
That's
yeah,
how
of
they meet.
course this game didn't get a
Mhm.
fair fucking shake. Did you see what they did to Kingdom Hearts 3? Like this was just like you're just giving fucking like JRPG haters fuel for the fire. They just see that like, yes,
Ugh.
burn. It's good
But
stuff.
I mean, yeah, like I was laughing at it too when I saw those first few trailers we got for it. But actually getting the chance to play it, it's surprisingly competent. Like, to the point I put this out on Twitter, and I'm like, I'm gonna get rolled for saying this, but I don't really care. I think this game to play is more fun than Final Fantasy 16 was, easily. It's honestly what I wished FF16 was,
Damn.
but no, game good. Game good, game fun.
Game
Game
good,
fun.
game fun.
Oh
Game.
no, it's got him. He can only speak in monosyllables now.
Kill chaos. Game good, game fun.
I think I think I'm almost done with it too. I think I should be done with it like the next time I live stream it.
Ugh. Uh,
I mean, I've beaten all
Game
4 of the
gone.
I've beaten all 4 of the fiends, so I don't
me
know
going
what's left after
gaga.
that. Gone Gaga.
Game good. Game good. Game gone.
Ugh.
Uh,
I think it's on PlayStation Plus now also, so
yeah, it has been
give it a
for a
shout.
while. Maybe they'll
There's
take it
multiplayer.
away. Quickly, don't
Are
take
they
it
taking it away with
away.
the rest of the Final Fantasy games?
I have no idea.
Who
Because like
knows?
I hope not.
all of those are getting nuked from the extended catalog soon.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Hmm. But yeah.
Oh well. And apparently there's multiplayer. Go play online with your friends. Get a group of friends together and go kill chaos.
Oh, lucky for you, Hunter.
I,
It's not going anywhere. You're only losing 15, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2, and 12. But Origins gets to stay, guys. Let's
hell yeah.
go.
Can you believe
Luckily,
the only good one is staying?
luckily for me, I own most of them.
Dude, I still
Mm,
need to find a copy of 15 somewhere.
drop mine.
No, it's British.
Tuesday. In it.
There's not region locking on the PS4.
Yeah, there isn't.
Yeah,
There
but it
hasn't
won't
been
fit
on a
with the rest of my
PlayStation.
PS4
There
games.
wasn't on the PS3 either. There hasn't been region locking on the
Really? It was
PlayStations.
just the PS2 that was a bitch?
It's PS1 and 2, and that's it, yeah. Because my
What's
original
the
copy of Sly 4 was NTSC, because it came out a month and a half early in America.
Region locking is stupid. I'm
It
glad
is.
that's gone.
damn.
Stupid concept.
Was the content ID that happened in one of your streams even from Frank Sinatra?
Yes!
Was the end? The
It
end is here.
I wasn't I wasn't expecting that version of My Way. I would have expected with the rest of the nonsense I've seen about this game for it to be Limp Bizkit's My Way.
Yeah, no. There in one of the cutscenes, Ethan, they legitimately just played Frank Sinatra's My Way. And I'm like, I should mute my VOD right now, but this is too funny. I'm not doing it. I'll
Mhm.
get the copyright strike. I'll hold the L. Nothing
Oh,
else has
bro.
been copyright stricken. But I'm like, really? We're doing this right now?
At least you can say that you did
Fucking
it
My
your way,
Way.
Kyle. You did it your way. You didn't mute the VOD. You had fun, and that's all that matters.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but hey, at least you're enjoying it. That's all that
Yeah.
matters at the end of the day. And you know,
And
if you'd
there's
started
also some
playing it last
DLC for this
week,
game. Dude, I
started playing
know.
it last week, you could have
I
mentioned
wished
it in the episode. You could have mentioned it
I
in the
wished
last
I could have,
episode.
dude. I didn't
Uh,
I didn't have time the last week though. But
oh well, it's an
I think
addendum.
this was on your, backlog list, though,
this
so
was on my backlog.
congratulations, you get to keep a finger.
What?
Wait, what?
Was that the agreement?
Yeah,
Shit, what games
obviously.
are on
If
mine?
you don't play your backlog, you get your fingers broken.
Ethan, what games were on your backlog?
I don't fucking remember.
There's surely 13
Hope one of those
Sentinels was there.
PS3 games was on there.
13 Sentinels was. 13 Sentinels,
Okay.
yeah, it was right at the end.
Congratulations, Ethan.
Well,
Hunter,
thank God
how's
for
your
that.
backlog going?
I knocked off Mario RPG, so I'm
Ah,
safe.
okay. Fair.
We're all good.
Go team.
That's
We
nice.
all get to
Good job,
keep our
everybody.
fingers.
Well, anyway, let's wrap it up. It's a shorter episode, but we've had some long ones recently. I'm fine with that. I'll live with it. Join us next week where we're back in the gutter and we have to talk about something else yet again. I don't know. It's getting to May, isn't it? It's usually
It's gonna be
PlayStation Showcase
May.
Copium month, isn't it, May? That is fine. Just deal with the
Oh,
internet
I hope it's
crying
better
about
than
that.
last year's.
Did we have one last
Yeah, it was the really bad one.
year? No, that's why I forgot it. Oh dear.
Thanks, Hunter. That narrows it down.
It showed us
no.
fair game $sign.
Oh,
Oh,
A minute
that
and
one
a
with
half of
Concord with the
Concord.
sandwich,
Oh,
dude.
it
That
was-
was sick.
it
Yeah.
was that bad?
Sandwich tech was incredible, dude. The ray traced
Phantom
reflections
Blade
on
Zero
the ham
looks
was
cool,
crazy.
but that game probably won't come out.
That's crazy. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here then. Like I say, bit of a shorter one, but what can you do? That's how it fell. It'll be fine. I'm sure we'll ramble about something nonsensical next week for an hour and a half. But you know,
Perfect.
it's all fun. Like I say, if you skipped the intro, how dare you? Go look at Cal's article on the website, hotgamesonly.com.
Please read it, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it. And then go buy Rhapsody, a musical adventure.
Don't go that far, but at least read the website. Read,
No,
read the
go
website.
that far.
Read the website.
Let
And
the
if you
two
get so inclined, then maybe do it. But read the website first. Read it twice. Refresh a couple of times. You know what I mean? Get that
dude.
traffic up. Get that traffic. Anyway,
It's my pinned tweet. Go ahead and give me a retweet on that. Get it out there. You do not have to scroll for it. It's right at the top.
hell yeah. But anyway, anyone got anything else to add before we leave?
Hunter, any words of wisdom for the people?
Play a crap game.
Okay, cool. On that note,
Ethan,
thank
anything you want to shill?
I've got nothing to shill, but I do want to apologize because I've been about as much use as a wet blanket this fucking podcast because I
Aw.
have played nothing, I have contributed nothing, and I've just asked questions like, what is insert the video game you're about to talk about? So I feel like I've done my part, but it's fine. Next week, I'll be less useless, maybe. We'll see. Anyway,
Next
I'm
week
done.
is your
Talk about
topic, I
PS3 games
think,
next
so-
year.
It's my topic next week. Fuck! No!
Oh yeah, dude, you better be
No!
useful next week.
Fuck! I didn't think of any. Oh well. So join us
Get
next
to
week
thinking, idiot.
where we sit in silence for an hour and a half. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, until then,
Video too.
I'm wrapping it up. Thanks ever so much for listening / watching this week. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.